Tonight in my women's studies class, part of my lecture was about the objectification of women and how throughout history we have often been prized for our appearance and how that hasn't changed too much. The Grammys were just on. It's awards season. And the red carpet is in full blaze. Now, I love glamour. I love gowns. I love bling. I love fashion. I love all these things. And part of me feels guilty, like I'm feeding this huge machine that still powers this unrealistic beauty standard. I tell my students, play spot the fat chick on the red carpet. And you'll notice that you'll have some token females, there's some token fat girls, fat women, who are of size, who are permitted to be, larger than Taylor Swift and still receive accolades, but they are the exception. They are a rarity, and they usually have to do, see, I'm fixing my hair, talk about beauty sickness, and they usually have to do a lot of explaining of themselves in interviews and publicly about why they can feel confident in their fat body. Poor Gabby Sidibe and Lena Dunham and what's her name from Mike and Molly. Sorry, I don't know her name. That was rude, but you know what I mean. These women are constantly being asked, so what's it like to be a fat actress? Because it's not the norm. And it is something different, and it's something we ask about in interviews because we're used to seeing a certain thing, and how dare anybody try to break that mold. You play spot the fat chick, and you will find them behind the ropes holding purses and cell phones, and they're the publicists and the managers and the handlers of the often very slender, very compliant to beauty standards celebrities that get lauded for being beautiful on the red carpet. And, I also have to point out that aren't we complicit too? I mean, I just bought new mascara the other day and I'm wearing it. And that's not good grooming per se. I mean, it is in this culture, in this society, to wear makeup. But my hair is combed, and I'm clean by society standards, and I smell right by society. I smell lovely, by the way. I smell right by society standards. But the mascara and the eyeliner, they're extra. So I've always been, not always, but I am conflicted about my desire to be attractive while still maintaining some sort of integrity. I did lose over 100 pounds, and there's part of me that's really proud of that because there was hard work involved and struggle involved and emotional growth involved, and part of me feels like, well, why should that be an accomplishment? Can't we just be, fat and happy? Why are we obligated to slim down? And the way we unfairly equate, health with thinness, when that's certainly not the case. I wouldn't mind being lighter, it's easier on my joints. I have a history of arthritis. I have a left leg that swells if I walk on it for too long. I wouldn't mind being lighter for the sake of ease of movement. But part of me also kind of likes the privilege and the compliments and the prettiness and feeling pretty. And I challenged my students tonight, it's not, I don't want to make you wrong for feeling pretty, but we have to ask at least, who's defining pretty? And how much emphasis do we want to put on that? So Renee, I can't pronounce her last name because she didn't say it. I showed a TED Talk by Renee Engeln, Engeln. It's a TED Talk from 2013, An Epidemic of Beauty Sickness. And I showed that tonight in class to start a discussion. And weight has a lot to do with it. Feeling ugly or unsatisfactory or unhappy with one's appearance due to our body size. Feeling too old or having the wrong kind of skin, or wrong meaning not compliant to the nearly poreless, flawless look that they show in magazines. And she talks about it, and she does conclude with, look, wanting to look attractive or beautiful or pretty or lovely by society's current standards isn't the sin, it's the overemphasis on it. It's spending how much time and energy on it. It's feeling like less of a person or less valuable based on our appearance and our ability or inability, to meet these beauty standards. And especially when it comes to our bodies, she urges us to place more emphasis on what our bodies do and feel rather than how they look. It's a tough one. I mean, I did spend 2 years in a wheelchair wondering why I had so much pain in my knees. Turned out to be severe, deforming osteoarthritis. I elected to get knee replacements because I like being able to walk without pain, and I'm glad I did it. And I do indeed walk without pain, and I have the ability to do things. She says we need to concentrate on the strength of our thighs rather than the size. But I do still struggle. I am considered morbidly obese by medical standards, certainly fat by society standards. And after all these years of blogging and struggling and writing and therapy and every other thing, I still carry some dissatisfaction and shame based on my nonconformity to the beauty standards of today. So I struggle with it. I'm aware of it. When you bring something out into the light, you weaken its ability to hurt you. And I still fantasize about plastic surgery. Not fantasize. I think, if my body, loses more weight, if I shed more fat, I'm vain. I will want to get that excess flesh tucked up. I will. And I will probably do a lot of blogging and vlogging about it because I am aware of my desire to look attractive by society standards. I'm aware of it. So don't think I don't struggle with these issues. I do. I'm learning to love myself for what I can do and what I do and what I think and what I give out into the world. And I still have that part of me that puts on eyeliner before I leave the house. So I guess that makes me human. So look up An Epidemic of Beauty Sickness. It's a TED Talk by Renee, and it might be even good to show in your women's studies classes, or just to look at it and consider what she's saying.